Hi YouTubers. Now, as you can see, I am using Simple Screen Recorder, which is a little bit uncharacteristic of me, but I am in a distro today called Solus OS. Some of you may have seen Solus OS being advertised around the place. I'm just closing a few windows here, and this is the default look of Solus OS. Now, it's an independent distribution and it's currently at version 1.0. It looks to me to be a distribution that is trying to be easy to use. Okay, it's a nice clean page, look at this, easy to use, built for the desktop, open source. Kind of be nice if they said free software, because this is a development paradigm. Free software is a philosophy or an ethics system. Anyway, moving on. So, this is the website. You've got a few things you can look at. There's the download site where they give you some installation instructions that thoroughly didn't work for me. Now, I tried to write it to a USB, didn't work, unfortunately. And there are a few rough edges. Following on from the install, I used a DVD, a rewritable DVD to install it, which did actually work. But yes, as I say, there were a few rough edges once I had installed it, which we'll go through soon. The user interface that you see at the moment composites very, very nicely. All that nice sort of flashy fade in, fade out, expand in, expand out sort of stuff going on there. That is the result of the Budgie desktop environment, which we can go back and have a look at. Now this, again, I'm wondering about the attention to detail here, because look at this. I mean, I've had this installed for a couple of days now. I've had this installed ever since I did the last Linux distro review, which was Linux Mint 17.3. After I finished that, I straight away installed Solus. Well, after I did the little tech advice video that I did on the writing to flash drives and all that sort of caper, I installed Solus Project and Solus OS I should say, and I had a look at some of these things and found things are not as they should be. As you can see, look at that. It looks like they've changed the user interface a few times because things are relocated around. Doesn't look like there are a lot of options actually for this user interface. What you see is what you get. You can change the background. They've got some very, very attractive wallpapers in here, I've got to say. Look at this. I normally don't go for the whole wallpaper thing, but these are great. Look at that. That is a pretty setup. I don't think anyone would be complaining about that. Unique features, well, obviously you've got the that Budgie interface, but you've also got this package management system, which is suspiciously called either PySci. You can use PySci, or you can use EO package. Now this is the independent package. When you hear a distro say, "Oh, they're independent," or whatever, what they're usually referring to is the package management system. Now, EO package is, I believe, a fork of the PySci or PISI package management system. It does not come with a man page, at least on this install. So if I go man EO package, I get nothing. If I go apropos, which is man-k EO package, looking for things that are similar to EO package or about EO package, I get nothing too. So not much information there. You can install packages reasonably well enough. I'm going to just show you how to do that now. I'm not going to go through the whole process, but sure. So let's just go in. Great. Now the next thing to look at is, because we don't have a man page, let's have a look at the help file. Fine. These are the help instructions, or the help file if you will. And actually what you'll need to do is do an update repo. Now I've already done that, but then if you want to install LibreOffice, for example, and they have actually broken LibreOffice up a little bit. Now I could install LibreOffice Calc. Now it seems to me it might install the whole lot. If I go package install, right, it looks like it's going to install the whole shish kebab. So, or at least Writer, Common, and Calc, which is more than I plan to do today. So let's not do that. But yeah, so it's a little bit strange. Another thing, I showed you before that I was using this simple screen recorder. Now the reason why is there's something curious. I tried to use, I have a little script actually. I'll just take you back to, now let's go to screencast. I have a little script that I use. Now this script is in sort of development, so there are a couple of things wrong with it, and I've updated it recently, but you probably get the gist anyway. Look for FFmpeg, look for avconf. If I find one or the other, here are some parameters I can use. Let's try and run it against excellent grab and ALSA. Well, I tried against ALSA, it failed. I then looked up the website because I found out they had obviously got ALSA installed if you've got Pulse Audio installed, but usually that would be the case. Although Pulse Audio is actually completely independent of ALSA and wouldn't necessarily need ALSA, it is the case in Linux that you typically find ALSA sitting underneath Pulse. Anyway, I looked at this and went, okay, well let's try that because it could be possible. And I found I had exactly, actually, let's not do that. I found I had the exact same issue. It doesn't know what the input format Pulse is. Awful. So basically FFmpeg is not fully compiled the way it should be, and it's quite kind of limited. So they haven't really done a great job on there. It looks like it's just a minimal compile for FFmpeg, which means no screencasting from FFmpeg. Really sad. And hence why I'm using the simple screen recorder. That's kind of a bit of a con for using this distribution. And I think it would have been avoided if they had used another package management system. I'm kind of wondering what they're trying to achieve since they are using EO package, but they are also using, we will cover this later on, but we go into the software center, just give that a moment, and they're using this sort of standard sort of package management system. I don't see anything kind of unusual about it. I don't know if there's anything, I can't really find anything about it, but hey, there's nothing too unusual about it. I'm guessing it's probably the one from GNOME for all I know. Perhaps. So I think there's like a packages GUI that you can use on top of some package management systems. Anyway, the point being is that I don't see what they're getting at here by using this, and I don't see how it's going to help the user because they're missing an entire entire ecosystems. They needn't have used the binaries of other distros. They could have just used the package management system, used some of the build scripts, and Bob's your uncle. Try and build their own distribution from there, I guess. But nonetheless, they're trying to do that, and I just kind of wonder about that ease of use if things like FFmpeg don't have those full set of options enabled from the get-go, and kind of a limited set of codecs enabled as well, as you can see there. Anyway, moving on, I think that it has about 3,000 packages available, but I don't know really. That's a guess, I suppose. Package format, not really familiar with the package format. I guess we'll find out more as I review this distro time and again, perhaps. I did show an example of use before, but basically, yeah, you can install, uninstall, you can update the repositories. It seems to give a nice output when you're doing things. I'll just update the repositories actually now for that package management system. So EO package update. See, it does nice tab completion too. I found that it did that when I wanted to install LibreOffice before, or show you. It can actually tab complete for the application you want to install. I'll just demonstrate that now. So install LibreOffice, and then you get the options of what you want to install. So that's kind of cute. But update repo, and it gives nice colorized output, which I'm fine with. It's great. But again, if they're not compiling things nicely or putting things, the features that FFmpeg has, for example, just as an example, it makes me wonder what other features that other software packages are missing out on. So, moving right on. Yeah, so I would like to just take you through some of the applications that we have here. We've got the gedit text editor, calculator, and files. Not much in the way of accessories. It's a little blank there. the calculator and the other applications seem to come from the GNOME project, although not fully credited in some cases. Not a big deal. We've got Firefox and Mozilla, two Mozilla elephants in the room there, I guess you could say. Firefox and Thunderbird, which I use. We've got HexChat, good replacement for XChat. And we've got the Transmission BitTorrent client, highly recommended. I use it from time to time, along with Deluge, along with rTorrent. Probably should do a review of rTorrent sometime. Fantastic little CLI torrent application. We've got Calendar, which is really kind of blank, but fine. We go into the Office applications, and we've got sorry, I was there before. We have Calendar, which is in the Office application, but look, we haven't got much here. There's no, I mean, if you don't have LibreOffice, I mean, think about it for the new user coming into this. What's there? Nothing. I mean, you'd kind of, I mean, for me, I'd expect one of the other, you know, the Abbey Words or the GNU Cache or one of those sort of GNU applications or whatever. I'd expect that to be there, but it's not. Sound video, again, pretty limited. In fact, I was the one who installed Simple Screen Recorder. That wasn't there before, so we would have had only these two. Moving on. Sundry. Print settings, again, I don't recommend people do it that way. I recommend people just use COPS. Yes, do it that way. Very nice. And not use these sort of funny little tools. I kind of recommend just go to this, go to the application or go to the server that does it. It's probably better that way. You get more access to settings and whatnot. Again, high-pass preferences, don't know what the hell that is all about. I know we'll need to find out what that is about sometime. System settings, we have more system settings than we have applications installed. That is really, really worrying. Because, again, for the new user, easy to use, well, sure, but there's nothing to use, so of course it's easy to use. Sort of, if you think so. Anyway, moving on. System tools, decomp editor. What are we doing with decomp editor on a so-called easy-to-use platform? Gparted being in here as well. I'm not sure the user's going to be, the new user's going to be safely using that. Hardware drivers, sure. Let's have a look. No drivers found for my system, which is kind of interesting because I'm using an AMD card, which can get proprietary drivers, but they're not including that. But I don't mind because the Radeon driver runs perfectly fine on mine. And I can game on it, and I should show you Street Fighter running in Wine, Street Fighter 4, Ultra Street Fighter 4 running in Wine sometime. I had that installed in my Debian install, very, very nice. Moving right along, so we've got some settings and stuff like that in here too, which is kind of like the sort of like the settings manager out of GNOME. Again, there are some similarities with GNOME. They use some of the GNOME libraries, but not actually using GNOME shell, so it's kind of nice and independent like that. Got some utilities. I personally would have put a Gparted in here, but they haven't, and I'd leave that to the interested user to go in and do these things and have a little play. Look, is it doing what it's supposed to do? Is it easy to use? Well, I'm reasonably experienced, so I can put up with its idiosyncrasies. If I wanted to do a screencast as a new user, excited about this new distro, maybe I would have found it a little bit difficult, perhaps. But on the other hand, I mean, maybe I should think the other way. How many people are doing screencast using FFmpeg? I'm not sure. So, anyway, do they have a suite of applications that the user's going to want to use? Well, they've got some of the known ones, like your Firefoxes, your Thunderbirds. They've got VLC there. That's fine. Yeah, they don't seem to have a lot else. They don't like have an Office package installed of some sort, and it seems to be more settings than anything else. So what would I give this distro? On appearance alone, for an experienced user, it's probably worth a 7. I'd probably lean down to a 6.5 or 6 for a person just coming straight off of the street and using it. I think there's a ways to go with this distribution. I'm actually looking forward to seeing where it goes. They do have some nice little features. I suppose I shouldn't be introducing this right at the end of the video, but they do have this nice little calendar app, and you can see some overview of other things, shut down the PC and all that sort of thing, you know, looking at notifications and that. That's kind of cute, but nonetheless, does it really deliver on ease of use? Probably not. They'll need to get a few more applications in there. They'll need to get things compiled properly, and they really should consider using the ecosystem that's available in other package management systems. Even if they don't use the packages themselves, even if they just modify the source packages to use the versions that they want, to use the build scripts that they want, they should do that, I think. That's my opinion on it, rather than just sort of coming off the fly and finding all sort of day one mistakes of not having a full FFmpeg implementation. Anyway, as I say, probably a 7 for experienced users, maybe a 6.5 to a 6 for the non-experienced users. Looking forward to seeing how this distribution matures. Anyway, thank you for your time as usual. Please don't forget to subscribe, invite your friends if you like what you see here to take a look at this, email them, instant message them, whatever. And I look forward to presenting my next video to you, which will probably be a technical video of some sort. We'll see. However, I do, as I said, promise to bring the video up and coming on the Ubuntu Mate, as was requested by one of our users. Okay guys, remember, subscribe, have a good day, have a good night, whatever you're having, as Daz Grigor would say, and he's another one of these Linux producers, and have a good one. Bye bye.